Hey everybody, Shushack Redemption here for what will probably be a relatively short video. We have just won our 11th straight championship, heading into the 2006 off-season. I say it'll be short because I think there won't be many changes happening. We obviously have a lot of draft picks we'll need to trade, so hopefully that can be done pretty quickly. There wasn't much going on in the off-season here. We did have just 2 changes from a team standpoint. There were no jersey retirements or Hall of Famers, so nothing to show there. The lottery did end up going Pacers' way for number 1. We did not end up getting number 2. That was the Wizards jumping up. Actually, I think we had the top 4 chances, I believe, heading into it, and the Wizards jumped up, which is fine. We don't need too much on this team. If you've seen the videos before, you know this is a super team. The only thing we're considering doing, or I'm considering doing, is trading Steve Nash, because we do have Chris Paul that we drafted last year with the first pick. We do have an aging Gary Payton who probably play 1 or 2 more years. Not sure how long he'll go. We just gave him an extension last year just based on his service to the team, pretty much. But Steve Nash is kind of in the way of Chris Paul at this point, because I think Dwayne Wade is not going to come off the bench this coming season. He needs to be starting with Peyton. We got Kobe at small forward, and then Bosh and Shaq holding things down. The only other guy I might trade is Lee. Kind of depends on who we draft. A couple guys we're looking in the draft. I mean, if I get rid of Nash, then Rondo can be the third point guard. Brandon Roy could come in and be the backup shooting guard potentially. LaMarcus Aldridge could be, I guess he'd be the third center. Sean Kemp ended up not retiring, by the way. He said he was retiring, then we traded for him at the deadline, and he changed his mind, and now he wants to be a Pacer again. So I don't know if that'll happen. We are getting a little older. We've got Peyton, Shaq, and Hill at this point. Garnett's even 30. Nash, if we keep him, which probably won't, is 32. He's also only got 1 year left, so it makes more sense to trade him. If not now, then at the deadline. But we're going to go ahead and get in the draft and see how this goes. I do not recall who the first pick was supposed to be. I guess I can see it here. It looks like this one says Roy, this one says Bargnani, and this one says Rondo. So no consensus here. The one that has Rondo has the other 2 of them going third. Roy is 1, 2, 2, and Bargnani's 1, 2, 3. So it seems like Roy is the favored number 1 pick. I don't know if he's necessarily who we want the most. I'm curious if anybody will actually take this. We have just so many of the picks that no teams have picks to offer me at this point. If I put Nash with it, does it change anything? It does. I can trade down and get Antonio McDyess, which is not something we're looking to do. That's losing money. I also don't know what Nash on his own gets me. 16 offers. I don't know if this is the way I'd do it. I'd probably wait until teams have more cap room based on free agency and everything. Jason Terry, that's a little younger, but also more expensive. I'd rather have future picks, but teams don't really have those because the Pacers stole them all. Trade down. Or no, this is not trading. It's 07, that's next year. Hito. Alright, so maybe not yet. What do we need the most? I feel like Aldridge is not what we need the most because we've got Bosh, Garnett, Shaq, Howard, so Aldridge would be at best third, either power forward or center. Brandon Roy would probably come in and be immediately the backup shooting guard. Whether he'd be in the rotation or not, that would need to be seen because, well, we would probably be 10-man, so I guess he probably would play. And then Rondo would be third point guard. So I guess Brandon Roy is the pick. My fear is, let's see, I'm curious who the Wizards have. Well, what are they going to get? Because that might help me decide. They could use Rondo, although they just got Felton last year. Roy they could use as well. They don't have a very good team. Aldridge is a center. Bargnani's a power forward, so they have McDyess, so I don't know that they'd get Bargnani. So it's likely they're taking one of the guys I would want, because the position they're the best at is the guy I don't want, which is Bargnani. So I think I'm going to get Brandon Roy just because he would be in the rotation. All NBA potential. I guess he does too. So does he. But Aldridge is 4 through 6 projection, so I guess based on that, there's a chance he drops to me. Let's give it a try. I have a feeling it's going to be Rondo or... I think Rondo or Aldridge is going to go number 2, so I'm not going to get all 3 of them, but that's all right. Brandon Roy to the Pacers. Welcome. The Wizards... Oh, they did get Bargnani. Okay, well, I will use the 3rd and 4th picks then. I guess I can entertain what trade offers happen, if anything. Ooh, we did get some. Oh, look, there's Bargnani. The 7th and next year's top 10 protected. That's not terrible. If I add Nash, it's just Bargnani and Davis. The other guy was Lee, potentially. Nothing. What if I do all of them? Nothing. Okay. Well, I think we are picking, and based on projections, I guess we'll go with Rondo. And we're back on the clock. The 4th will get us the 7th and top 10 and 0, or top 3 protected in 08. But I think I'd rather have LaMarcus Aldridge. And then I think we'll be done with the draft. Redick would be cool to have, but we don't need all that many rookies on the team. So let's get Aldridge. He can't be number 12. He also can't be 21, so I don't know what he's going to be. Still no offers. If if offers don't pop up, we might have to propose the trade manually, which is slow, but looks like what's going to have to happen. So let's trade the 5th and try to get some future picks. If anybody has 07s, which I probably have a whole bunch of them. Yes. Possibly even more than the 06s we have. Looks like yes. So 07s would be good if they're... So the Wizards just had a terrible record, so that makes sense. Let's try... Whoops. Let's just try to take as many as we can. Oh, wow. I thought they would at least do that. Okay, well, I can give you... Let's just see if they wanted something. No? Do I have more seconds that I can give? I have the Spurs. I have my own. Really? Okay, there we go. Alright, Wizards are getting 2 picks then. They get Bargnani and they get Rudy Gay. So they get a new core to build around, so I'm not sure how good those picks will be, especially that late one I just got. Spurs are trading their pick, surprisingly, to get Gilbert Arenas. Wow. One of the top scorers the past few years. The Bucks would rather have Tyrus Thomas. Okay, then. We get Adam Morrison to the... he's on a Charlotte jersey for some reason, but the New Orleans Hornets. And we are at the 8th pick. Lowry and Millsap are good players available, just don't really have room for them at this point. 8th pick can get me Rudy Gay and Danny Granger. Steven Jackson. Why is Grant Hill on every single trade? Will you take David Lee instead? Adam Morrison. Okay, will you take Steve Nash instead? He's almost the same amount of money as Hill. Really? Wow. Okay. 8th and 29th. So it looks like the Hornets might be willing to do some business. Or, it's the Pelicans. Well, New Orleans... Okay, I'm in this time frame where the Charlotte Bobcats exist and the New Orleans Hornets exist. Okay, gotta remember that. They only have 2 players, so things could change. But let's try to take their 7th for this pick and see if we can do that. What if we give you this one too? Really? What if we move it up a little bit? Probably once it becomes a 1.5 they'll do it, I would think. That one maybe? Really? What if I move this back a year? And move that back a little bit. There we go. Alright, Kyle Lowry is joining Adam Morrison in New Orleans. So 2 teams, I think only 3 teams have drafted so far. Or no, the Bucks got Tyrus Thomas. Paul Millsap goes to the Kings. The Pacers are back on the clock. Let's see what the 10th gets me. There's the Bulls 09 and 10. Looks like Bulls or Raptors or Grizzlies, so the Grizzlies are usually good. Nash will get me Hito. He would replace somebody. Oh no, Josh Smith's technically, I guess, my 3rd small forward. So do I have a full team right now? Add. Okay, I have a full team, but McKee is gone. We turn that into Brandon Roy. Kemp is gone. We turn that into Aldridge. And now once we trade Nash, we will have a full team. So we should not get players back. We'll have to trade Nash separately, probably. Alright, so the Bulls, Raptors, and Grizzlies is what we're looking at. The Bulls were not great. The Grizzlies were pretty good, yeah. And the Raptors were also pretty good. So I think we'll just do that Bulls pick as is, or Bulls trade. 09 and 10. They cannot trade their 07 because I probably have it. So we'll just go with that. And the Bulls will get Ryan Hollins with the 10th pick. Bobcats get Thabo Cephalosha. Pacers back on the clock. Can trade down 1 and get a 2nd round pick. There's the Knicks. 2 firsts. Sonics, I'm not sure why they have 2. Might be mine, I guess. So let's look at the Knicks. They were not very good either. They do have Joe Johnson locked up. Kenyon Martin's still good. So they look decent, but still getting 2 firsts for this. Sounds good. They're getting Patrick O'Brien. That's not going to make them better. Bulls, Jordan Farmar. Rockets get JJ finally off the board. Pacers back on the clock. Oh, we get some offers. 2010 and a second. I'm guessing there won't be any first. There's a first. Moving back 13 to pick up another one. It's the Raptors and Grizzlies again. Try Nash one more time here. Rudy Gay's still up there. Lowry and Jones. But we don't have room for another player. Until we trade David Lee as well. Which can keep trying that too. But nobody wants him. So let's just try these two together and maybe more teams will give 2 firsts. Lakers protected. Sonics move back 3 and we get a 10. Blazers top 3 protected and a 10. Raptors and Grizzlies again. Blazers have LeBron, so we want to avoid that. The Raptors have Manu, Williams, Curry. Not a deadly team. It's decent. But I think we'll go ahead and do this. And the Raptors will add Ronnie Brewer to their roster. Celtics go with Steve Novak. We are down to our last 3. Timberwolves, I think they were really bad. I think they were one of those top picks I used. Yeah, they were supposed to be the second pick. Bynum's going to get better. Maggetti's been a scoring machine the last 4 years. But that seems like a fair deal to me. If I have one of my picks left, which I do, we can go ahead and trade that. Sure. And you want to swap some seconds. Why not? And you can draft CJ Watson. The Sonics get Craig Smith. Lakers Leon Powell. And the top 20 are at least real people. Rodney Carney to the Blazers. Gets to be LeBron's backup. The Jazz, I think, were terrible as well. Sonics are who I gave Yao to, so probably don't want to get their picks. I think nobody can just absorb Nash at this point. Probably not until we get into free agency. Well, people can't absorb David Lee, evidently. Tayshaun Prince would be cool. So the Jazz are an option. I think that's what we're going to go with. Because they were the worst team in the league. And they've got Gooden and Bogut. And actually Gooden's a free agent. So if they don't do anything else, it's going to be pretty bad. And I can't get either of those, so just straight up. PJ Tucker joins the Jazz. And first fake person is at 22. Not bad. Boobie Gibson to the Mavs. Shannon Brown, Hornets. JJ Barea to the Suns. And And this is our last pick. Let's see if we can still get a first for it. The Lakers will do a lottery protected. Blazers will do a lottery protected. The Grizz will do a first, just straight up. But what if we go with Nash again? Gay, Mo Peterson. Not only are they not taking him, they're actually giving me 2 people back. I guess because of the contract. The Lakers will give an 07 and an 09. Because I am going to need more veteran presence on this team, probably, if I'm drafting 3 rookies. I don't need David Lee's second-year self on my team. It could give me a chance to re-sign maybe like Kemp or somebody like that. The Lakers have, oh yeah, they have the Pistons pretty much. Billups, Wallace, and Rip. Wallace might not be on the team. Jefferson, I don't think Jefferson or Rip are getting any better. Billups is probably about as good as he's going to be. Marshall's going to be going down, so this might not be bad. 2 firsts for who I got with the 18th pick last year, and what is the 26th pick, I think, right now. So we're going to give them, maybe they won't resign Rasheed Wallace if I give them David Lee. I don't know. Let's do it. And they get Ronaldo Balkman, Sean Williams to the Nets, and a lot of fake people coming up probably. I don't know how many real people. There's one, Solomon Jones. My randomness of the people in the 90s doesn't work every time, because if there's already somebody with their 90s number, they'll make them a more normal number. But I will go in and edit those anyway after the season starts. Young Long Lee. Alright, well, the whole second round was fake people, I think. Well, other than what, Solomon Jones, I think. So we got Roy, Rondo, Aldridge. What a draft class. Got the Blazers picks. Rondo, who I think was technically drafted by the Suns and then traded to the Celtics, if I remember correctly. I think they both can be their numbers. We'll have to figure out something for Aldridge. We will sign all 3 of them. We have options. Of course, we're accepting all of those. Allen Iverson declined his player option. He is going to be a free agent after 3 years in Philly. He scored lots of points in Phoenix, pretty much kept it up, but didn't have the ball quite as much last year after they got Tony Parker. Who's the next? Are there any other declines? Luke Ridnour, who was the 12th pick, will not get his 4th year of his rookie contract, even though he had by far his best shooting season, but just played a lot less because of Tony Parker. So Sixers have the 2 best players who either opted out or the teams made them opt out pretty much. We have no qualifying offers to give. And there's Allen Iverson. Is he possibly going somewhere else? It looks like he might be. The Lakers have money because of Rasheed, I guess, being on the market. Yao Ming is restricted, so hopefully the Sonics match whatever comes his way, but who knows? Crazy things happen. Paul Pierce has been on the Hawks the last 4 years, but maybe the Sixers will replace Allen Iverson with Paul Pierce. Who knows? Stoudemire looks like he'll stay a Piston. Jay Williams has been on the Hawks. See if they match. Manu's a free agent now. So I think before people sign, we need to go trade one Steve Nash because we have too many people on the team. Actually, we are perfect right now because we already traded David Lee, but Steve Nash is kind of in the way. He's got 1 year left. Chris Paul is going to be... Paul might be better than Peyton after we get through progression, but we're going to go ahead and see what the trade finder for Nash gets us. Hopefully it doesn't... Well, wait, what do I want? I need a backup, either small forward, power forward, or it could even be a center, because Aldridge could be a power forward. So a bigger guy that's older, probably, because I got 3 20-year-olds, 3 21-year-olds. So all these guys can be mentored up to about 24, probably. Kobe, I guess maybe he can still be mentored by Peyton. I'm not sure. But let's see if there's any wing or big guy depth we can get here. Jamison, that would be big guy depth, but also trading Tony Allen. And Jamison wouldn't really play. Andrew Bogut, interesting. Troy Murphy, get David Lee right back after already trading him. Tayshaun would be cool. I don't need Jameer. I'm actually surprised it's allowing me to trade for 2 people because that would put me over the 15 players. Zach Randolph. He's not old like I was hoping. Oh, how old is Tayshaun? Where was Tayshaun? He's only 26. Van Horn is 30. That could be good for what we're looking for. Bynum, wow, they're trading Bynum. Alright. I don't think there's anybody else I would really pair with him to trade. Tony Allen I like having as an option. Like, he's just defensive stopper. Doesn't need to score. So can I package him with like one of my firsts? I still have that one. Turioff. I just need one player. Bogut in a second. I guess I could also go around and see who's out there that I might want. That's probably what I'm going to have to do. There are good, like, big guys, but I'm hoping for an older guy and a pick would be ideal. So let's do... Well, we can just go through the league here. Who is possibly fitting the mold? We got Zadrunas. He would have to play, though. A little too good. But then again, a lot of people on my team should be playing. So this is the team that traded for Gilbert, even though their best player was already a point guard. Their top 5 players right now are all guards. Duncan's probably not an option, I would say. Nobody there. Randolph would be neat. We'd be adding Steve Nash to an already, well, usually good team. Looks like a lot of their players are in the free agent market right now. Ben Wallace, can we bring him back? Nash and Hill. I would want to do Nash and a pick, probably. Wallace is about the same overall, a little more money, and 1 year younger. Could really be a good mentor. And this team right now is missing a point guard. It was Steve Francis. But Wallace wouldn't play, which is weird. Well, unless there's injuries. Of course, he'll find a way to play, but we've got Howard and Garnett right now as our depth. Jefferson's really young, so they just got Morrison and Lowry to add to Jefferson. They got very young people. Hito's the only player on the Magic right now. Wolves are pretty much rebuilding. Eddie Curry's still 23. He's played 5 years already. Jermaine's too good. Birdman would be fun. Tony Allen. McGlure. Sean Bradley, he's like a shack stopper. He's never shot well. Oh my gosh, it's all... His best was 42 in his third year. That's sad. His blocks have been amazing, though. Theo's down here. It's not good enough for a Steve Nash trade. That's why I'm kind of looking at Ben Wallace right now. McDyess is going to get worse. So that's something to consider. If I can trade Nash, I don't know if I can take on that much money, though. I'd have to trade somebody else, probably, which I don't really want to do. Jameson shot pretty poorly last year. That's weird. He took a big dip from pretty much every other season he's had so far. Odom, Bogut, Peja. So it seems like because they're adding players here, it seems like I cannot take on any more money than what Nash is at. But I thought I had a trade exception, so I could check that. Danielle Marshall's super cheap. Nash would then be Phillips' backup, which is kind of sad. We gave them Gasol, Joe Smith, super expensive. Sean Marion could come back to the team. We traded him once his rookie deal was ending. He would be good depth. He's not like super good. He's actually buried on the bench here on this team, it looks like. Okur. Alright, well, I think we have to at least see if this can work. We are over the hard cap, which is why I was hoping to just trade him mostly 4 picks. Oh, if I do that, it works? The trade exception? Interesting. We can't get any of their picks, so it would just be straight up. But he would be behind both of these guys. Smith would then be a small forward, which is fine. He might be better at small forward, I don't know. Or I could try to trade for a small forward, which was like Peja or Peja was on the Kings. He's 29 with 1 year left, so same situation as Nash, so that's not super helpful. I'd rather get somebody with 2 years. Jameson has 3. There was Marion, who only has 1. McDyess was the guy that had 2. And we already took 2 of their picks, so that's not going to work. We can't sign anybody because we're over the hard cap, so that's not an option. Durahim is too expensive. Who was the other guy I looked at? Randolph, he's not old, but I guess I don't necessarily need somebody super old. Nash for Randolph in a first, which is pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. I save about $1 million. I get Randolph with 2 years remaining. I thought it said 1. Or no, yeah, that's right, 2. It's just 1 more than Nash. Plus an 07, which will not be good because they have LeBron James. But I get Zach Randolph. I think this is probably the best I'm going to do. 81 overall for a point guard who's... If I keep him, I don't know what I'm going to do because either Nash or Paul or Roy's not playing. It'd probably be Roy, but I'm kind of sick of playing Nash, Paul, and Peyton all at the same time. Or in the same rotation. So I like to keep Peyton mostly at point guard if at all possible. So we're going to go ahead and do this, and Zach Randolph's going to be the extra depth. I don't know if Steve Nash did enough for the Pacers to get number 13 retired. He played, 10 years, and he started just over half the games. First couple years he didn't play too much, but then he became a rotation player and then gradually into a starter. Probably not, because he didn't get any accolades, right? No, just a 10-time champion. He knows nothing except for championship, so we'll see if that changes in Portland or somehow I gave them... Oh, they just got mad. LeBron is not happy that Zach Randolph just got traded. Interesting. Their point guard before was somebody decent. I think Mike Bibby. So they probably won't sign Bibby now. We have 2 cap holds. Go ahead and clear those up because we have a full team, right? Yes. Is Bibby here? Bibby is here with no offers. Alright, well, we have no positions to offer, so we are just going to keep on chugging along. I guess we can renounce Sean Kemp. Bibby, lots of teams going after him. Andre Miller, heavily recruited. Corey Maggette, probably going back to the T-Wolves. We'll see. Alright, Manu Ginobili, best free agent left. Looks like he is going to leave the Raptors, because the Raptors are not even on this list. Hornets, potentially. Francis, possibly going back to the Warriors. Caron Butler has been on the Rockets. We'll see if they match him. Mashburn, possibly staying with the Grizzlies. We're almost halfway. There's Ridnour, who didn't get his option picked up by the Sixers. Moving on to the Nuggets, it looks like. We got Dollenbear at the top. He was on the Bucks before. Looks like he's changing teams. I see Ty Lue down there. It's got Pollard getting some offers. Brevin Knight. And the last day, at center, I think that said Allen Iverson went to the Magic, if he was at the top of the list. So it's him and Hito. That's fun. Mark Blunt going to the Jazz. Ryan Cardinal has been jumping around also to the Jazz. Mark Madsen to the Bucks. No small forwards. Keith Bogan's getting all sorts of offers. Looks like he's going to join LeBron in Portland. Charles Smith. Brevin Knight. Probably the Wizards, and then the Clippers will get Atkins. Alright, let's take a look at progression. We'll look position by position. There we go. Chris Paul is indeed as good as Gary Payton now. He went up 5 overall. Payton got worse at shooting. Thankfully, no worse at threes that he's been pretty bad at his whole career. Paul is better than him now. At that, he went up 10 in draw foul. His passing is amazing. He's actually better at accuracy than GP now. Or I guess he already was. Consistency's up. Steals up. Perimeter D. That's the one thing Payton's like stayed amazing at. Is his defense. Paul's getting slower at age 21, going down 4. That seems a little much. Shooting guard. Wade stayed the same. Interesting. Tony Allen did go up 2. Wade got better at threes. He went up at everything except down 1 in acceleration. His potential used to say A+, now it's only A, so maybe he's as good as he's getting. Whoops. Point guards. Paul says A+, see if that stays. Kobe Bryant says he went up 1. Grant Hill did not go down. That's nice. Kobe got better at threes, passing, a little better at defense, even slower. He's had some bad injuries, which is why his speed and acceleration are so terrible. Power forward Bosch did not get better. I was expecting him to go up, but he did not. Josh Smith, on the other hand, goes up 3, and thankfully KG did not go down. Josh Smith's even better at defense. Okay. And Dwight Howard is up 2. He's now better than Shaq. Randolph did go up 1. We need to make him a power forward. And Smith probably a small forward. We'll do that once the season starts. So Dwight Howard's better than Shaq. Well, 06. That might have been true. I don't know. He's better at defense. Better at rebound. Well, defensive rebounding. Consistency's the same. Has no intangibles, but neither does Shaq. Alright, so overall, more ups than downs, and the only 2 guys that went down were my 2 oldest guys, and they only went down 1, so I'd say that's a good round of progression. Let's go through and see what happened around the league. Pistons don't look much different. I think Yarich is new, but otherwise... Oh, they don't have Amari Stoudemire. That's different. That's very different. So they're missing a power forward pretty much. I guess it's probably Abdur Rahim or Rodney Rogers. Take your pick. One of them can play power forward. I didn't even look. Nobody really went super up or down. The Rockets' best players are still small forwards. They did get Antoine Walker, who was the Blazers' either 6th man or was he starting? He was starting. Carmelo went up 1. Telfair went up 3. For the Spurs, so they made the big draft night trade for Arenas. Ford and Richardson went up 1. Arenas did not, which I guess technically he had a worse year than he did last or the previous year, but still looks better than 84. Kevin Martin getting better, but their top 5 players are still guards. Richardson's probably a small forward on this team. They've got 3 very mediocre centers. For the Suns, Duncan goes down 1. They still have, looks like, about the same team. Brad Miller, I think, is new. Yeah. Sonics, so they did match Yao Ming, it looks like. So they keep the Baron Davis Yao, but Yao did not go up. Makes me still feel a little bit better about trading him when I did. He got a huge contract, it looks like. So they did get Ridnour. So Ridnour on the Sonics, that's fun to see. LeBron goes up 1. Steve Nash randomly went up 1. And Battier's up 1, even though he's still suffering from his Achilles injury. So I took Randolph from them, and now they don't have a big guy. LeBron is probably a power forward on this team. They literally don't have a real big guy. That's sad. I mean, that's a good trio, but they've got nothing else around them. Alright, Warriors did get Steve Francis back, so they bring back the same team, but it's getting older. It's been this starting lineup has been together for quite a while, and they've had Van Horn for a few years now. Same with Kirk Thomas, so they've kept their team together. It's like the real Warriors, it seems like. Weber is no longer like the best player in the league anymore, like he was for a while. Andre Miller jumps to the Heat after getting traded last year. So he joins T-Mac, who went down 1. David West did not go up after his huge scoring season. They get Robert Horry, who's been all over the place, it feels like. Oh, maybe not. Just the last few years he switched teams. So they don't have a center either. The Hornets, Al Jefferson went up 4. Eddie Jones at age 34 went up 1. But that might be because I made him a small forward. But on this team, he's probably a shooting guard because you got to get Adam Morrison in the starting lineup, right? Kyle Lowry might be starting at point guard as a rookie. That's kind of cool. Magic did indeed get Allen Iverson, who went up 1. Turkoglu went up 1. He won't have to average 26 points anymore because that's probably at least what Iverson will average. Penny Hardaway at 70 overall is their fourth best player, and will probably, I don't know when he's going to retire, probably soon, will likely end his career in Orlando, which is kind of neat. Everybody else on this team is fake. T-Wolves got Manu, so after 3 years in Toronto, gets a new contract to be paired with Maggette, so hopefully Maggette won't have to average that many points either, and Bynum's getting better, so not a bad trio, I guess, but they don't have a point guard. They drafted C.J. Watson, and they don't have a power forward. They've got fake people. Okay. Raptors looks about the same, if I recall. Nobody got better or worse, really. Grizz, Jermaine stayed. Richardson, Stoudemire, and Mashburn dropped down 1. Bruce Bowen is new to this team. They don't have a power forward. Oh, they have Marvin Williams. He's still down here. And Mo went up 3, but he's still stuck behind Damon Stoudemire. The Bobcats are the ones who got Amare Stoudemire. So the Pistons, for whatever reason, did not match on, probably the 3rd best power forward in the league, overall-wise, something like that. They also got Ron Artest, who has been a Buck his whole career. Darren Williams went up 3, and Devin Harris is up there. So you add Jamal Magloire to that starting lineup, that's pretty good. I mean, they had these 4 before. They upgrade Swift to Stoudemire, and I don't remember who their small forward was, but it might have been Josh Howard, actually, who went down 1. That's not a bad-looking team, really. LeBron's the best player in the league. Tony Parker's going to be scoring more, it looks like, now that Iverson's gone. They didn't replace Iverson's scoring. These are all guys that were already on the team, I think. The Bucks, who traded Arenas, didn't do anything. J.R. Smith's about to score 25 points a game, probably, or Monta Ellis. They're going to just shoot their heads off. That sounded bad, but I meant, shoot a lot. We got Tyrus Thomas, who was the 6th pick that they traded Arenas for. Wizards drafted Bargnani. Nothing looks different, though. Felton went up. McDyess went down. They got Bargnani and Gay. And neither of them are going to start, probably. Well, Bargnani or McDyess, one of them would probably play center. And Ricky Davis could be shooting guard to start Gay. I don't know. We'll see. Oh boy, the Bulls signed Paul Pierce to go with Dirk Nowitzki. How in the world did they manage that? They still have $7 million in cap space, but that makes Luol Deng. He didn't even go up. Luol Deng, though, was about to be. He was already starting. I don't know what they would do. This is a weird situation. They got Jordan Farmar drafted to be their point guard, I guess. Huh. Well, Dirk, I don't know if he's going to average 25 again, but they're a threat. I think they're a team we just traded for more picks of. Tyson Chandler's been the best player on this team, I think, all 5 years so far. Danny Granger and Gerald Green at least got better. They did nothing else to improve their team. Celtics look the same. Kenny Anderson went down. Perkins up a couple. Clippers only have 8 players. It's not looking good for LA's second team. Hawks, Williams, Odom, they were already on the team. Ilyasova went up 3. Same with Lou Williams. Jazz still have Bogut and Gooden at the top. Brian Cardinal went up 1. Peja didn't go up. Kings look pretty much the same. Drafted Paul Millsap. Knicks still have Johnson and Stackhouse and Kenyon and Heinrich. Looks like a decent team. They drafted, I guess, Patrick O'Bryant to be their starting center. And the Lakers did keep Rasheed Wallace around after, I guess, missing out on Allen Iverson. Daniel Marshall went up 2. I think that's because I made him a power forward, though. Cassell moves from the Clippers to the Lakers. Hughes went down 1. So did Rip. That's kind of sad. And then David Lee's down here, went up 2. So, I mean, we got a first round pick for him. So I think that's fine. He's not going to be getting too many minutes, it looks like. Mavs, Powell stayed the same. Joe Smith still at 85. They got Mike Bibby from the Blazers. So he's their new point guard. Rose went down 1. Marion's still here. Vin Baker's down a couple. Van Exel's down here. They've got a pretty veteran-looking team. Nets still have Brandon Terry and Ray Allen, who's down 1. Camby went up 1. Jameer Nelson went up 4. This is probably where Terry would become a shooting guard and then, I guess, as the 6th man. Unless Ray Allen's a small forward, but Tayshaun would probably do that. So Jason Terry as a 6th man would probably be really good for this team. And the Nuggets, Marbury stayed the same. Big Dog's down a couple, so he's finally on the decline after having a just ridiculous career, mostly with the Knicks and Spurs. Lewis, Karolinko, Okur all go up 1. And that's that. Skip the Summer League. We will look up where the 07 All-Star Game was. Just for accuracy purposes. It was Las Vegas. Interesting. Is that even an option? It is not. So let's just say LA, probably the closest experience we're going to get. You can't do it in a city that doesn't have a team. Huh. Okay, wait, what does that say? Charlotte, or Charlotte, New Orleans? I'm sorry. There's just New Orleans. There's not a Charlotte, New Orleans. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's give it, whatever, Clippers. Not sure why it matters. Alright, so this is going to be the first draft class that I did not go crazy with edits. So I pretty much just took the default draft class and I made all the fake people 67 or worse, and then I imported well, you'll see. Well, I didn't do anything about whether they were World or USA. So I added Marc Gasol and Swaggy P. Nick Young, who was awful in this game. But I did nothing to attributes, nothing to tendencies. That was all I did. I just added 2 people, maybe changed some positions, updated some numbers that were wrong, which I still don't understand why numbers were wrong. Like Greg Oden was number 20, which he was when he retired or when he played for the Heat, but he was 52. Oh my God, he shot terrible. 39% as a center at Ohio State. I don't think so. Let's see. You said Ben Baker's age is glitched. Uh-oh. Well, I'll have to look at that. I have caught a few people like that. Where's Gasol? Why is Gasol not here? Uh-oh. He definitely should be here. I'm going to have to check to make sure he's in the league, but now you've got me wondering about Vin Baker. He was on one of the last teams we looked at, right? Was it this team? He's 34. That seems right. He's played 13 years. So I think that's right. But now that you say that, I do feel like I saw something about him or somebody else where it's in like the 02-03 roster. It's like the young version of Vin Baker, I believe. But in 05-06, he was 34 years old, and that's where we're exiting. So at least he's right here. But yeah, there are a few people that they copied over or something. They copied from the draft class maybe, and he was the wrong age. I'm going to advance, and then I'm going to see to make sure Marc Gasol made his way into my draft class, because I don't know why he wasn't in that game. Yes, I do. Yeah, there he is. Okay. He is indeed here. So 07 class, pretty cool. Durant, Conley, Horford, Greg Oden. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it might have been in one of Kenny's videos where he saw that Vin Baker was like 21 years old in 2002. So yeah, of course he's going to play. Chill. Who knows when. I think when I finished it, there were only 23 real people, which is the lowest I've had so far. But again, I just didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on it because I'd like to be able to wrap this up before the new 2K comes out. We don't need to target Gary Payton anymore. We will target Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That's probably a good idea. We have just gobs of draft picks ready for Kevin Durant to possibly be a Pacer. 4 or 5. Well, that one doesn't really count because that won't be for the Pacers if it's good, which the Hawks are terrible, I think. I don't get to see them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 of the 30 first round, or 21 if you count the Hawks. So there's a very, very, very good chance of getting Kevin Durant. And some of those bad teams that we saw going through, we do indeed own. Trying to find the really, really bad ones. People that don't even have 80 overall players would be the ones I'm searching for. So the Bucks, I'd say the Wizards, probably the Cavs and Clippers and Jazz. Okay, it's too many to remember, but I think we have most of those. We don't have the Bucks. We have the Wizards. We don't have the Clippers. Or the Jazz. Oh no. So we don't have all of the really bad teams. Interesting. We don't have the Cavs either. So we might not be getting Kevin Durant, which is no big deal. I mean, we don't need Kevin Durant on this team, but it would be fun, right? Chris Paul is not starting quite yet. Where's Chris Bosh? Bosh is the starter. I know. I would start Garnett if I hadn't just traded for him to be Bosh's backup. We need to make Randolph a power forward. And I think Brandon Roy is probably in the rotation. I don't think Randolph has a chance to be in it. And probably need some. Too many big guys up here. So I'm not going to do the full rotation right now. I'll have that done next time before I go live. Next time, just kick off the season, but this is more or less what the rotation is going to look like with who is involved, but the minutes will be different. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else to show at this point. I will get mentors and all that stuff done because it's kind of boring to watch. So until then, I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Two Shack Redemption's out.